Hi, I'm Rebekah Laws, and I'm a licensed professional counselor here at Trinity Counseling. And with me is Don Richards, and he has volunteered to help us demonstrate to our viewers a new way of treating, an adjunct to treating some of our treatment-resistant clients. It's very exciting. Last summer I went to training because of funds from people like yourself that have donated to Trinity over the years. We were able to afford the equipment and the training for myself and a couple of other counselors, and now we have this new modality that really has been helping some folks that haven't gotten help through traditional, not the kind of help they needed, through traditional talk therapy or medications. Some of our clients that can't even take medications have gotten some good benefits out of this new treatment. It's called Iasis microcurrent Neurofeedback, and with Don's help, he offered his head today. We're going to show you how that. I'm going to show you how that works. First off, I need to do some cleaning, and I'll do that really quickly.
What's the cleaning for, Rebekah?
The cleaning is so that these electrodes will attach, and so that we can make sure that there's a pulse that goes from this little box to your head, and I'll try to explain what happens here. This box creates a positive feedback loop that stimulates the brain. It gives it a little nudge and helps the brain to heal itself. In healing itself, it actually produces healthy brain waves, healthy delta waves, the kinds of brain waves that you get when you're in deep sleep, healthy sleep. When you're really getting the rest you need, you're producing delta waves that clear out the toxins in your brain and help your brain function more adequately. Sometimes our brains get stuck in patterns because of trauma, stress, maybe head injury, and this helps the brain to heal itself just through some gentle stimulation. The makers of this actually say it helps untrain the brain, not train the brain. Some methods of biofeedback train the brain. This actually untrains the brain and makes it more flexible and adaptive. Okay, so the end result from some of my clients, and I've been doing this since last July, is that they're able to be more flexible and adaptive in their thinking. They're more self-controlled. They sleep better. Some have experienced fewer headaches, migraines, and generally feeling much calmer and more in control of their lives. They're able to, it helps our clients to be less depressed, less anxious, and more in control of their thoughts and their actions.
You remember I talked to you about having that negative feedback loop that just kept running and I couldn't make it stop. And I think it was after the first session that you did it, I couldn't actually lock down on that negative feedback loop anymore, even if I tried. And so that issue that was just so controlling could no longer control in a way that it had before. And so that there was much less stress coming from that, so much less anxiety coming from that. And it was immediate.
Well, you can see then how this would aid in as an adjunct to talk therapy then. My clients that have had some success with this have been able to choose their thoughts more easily. Some of the clients I've had previously, we could do the talk therapy, but they were not able to put it into practice. And
Yep.
Now with the help of this, they're able to put those things into practice. And you can think about this like medication, as in medication often helps aid talk therapy. Together they're a great combo, and this too is a great combo, but it's not medical and it's not invasive. A couple of clients come to me with extreme anxiety, and within a few sessions, I had one client decide that she no longer needed her Xanax. She was better in, say, 16 to 18 sessions, and then she was good for several months, and then she came back for a little tune-up, and she's been good to go since then.
What people can't tell from this video is that I'm not feeling anything other than just a little bit of coolness coming from the paste that you're putting on. And what I know is that I won't feel anything relative to any current or anything like that. So there's no physical sensation coming from
Yes, you will only feel maybe relaxed.
this. Right,
If you felt anything else, I would want to know, but
right.
that rarely happens. There is potential for a mild headache, and I have seen that a couple of times, and we just stop, and there hasn't been an issue after that.
Right.
This machine delivers picocurrents, which are just a millionth of what your cell phone delivers. The electricity delivered by these electrodes is a millionth of what you'd get in your cell phone, just to let you know.
I know, because you've explained it to me previously, that you start out with a new patient with sort of a baseline protocol, and then you kind of build from there. So you look at symptom sets, and that is from a self-report that you give them, and then you make a determination to begin treatment based on the information that you get from there.
Yes, we do a very thorough assessment the first go around, and we take a nice report of all the symptoms that client would like to have alleviated, just for measuring purposes, and it is very subjective. And over time, what we watch is the scoring before treatment and after treatment. We know we're doing a good job with this if the numbers go down.
Right. And from what you and the other therapists have told me, the results have been impressive with many people.
With many people. 85% of our clients experience positive results.
Wow.
And that's across the board. Well, that's across the board. That's research based with Iasis as a whole, and I found it to be what I think is true in my own practice. This is an infrared device, infrared light, and I'm going to ask Don to hold that over parts of his hands to increase blood flow. The researchers who developed this discovered that increasing the blood flow actually increases the impact here and helps it to work better. So now I'm going to start the machine, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to run it over your head here.
So you've actually started my treatment.
We are starting your treatment. Making sure everything's connected well. I'm watching that to make sure connections are good. You feel anything? Okay.
This is actually a form of an EEG where I'm actually seeing my brain waves on the screen.
You are actually watching the different kinds of brain waves as they are showing up. And you'll notice the red line is the healthy delta wave, and we want that wave to show up for us and spike. That clears out the toxins and helps the brain be more flexible and adaptive.
So this is basically real-time brain activity.
Real time. It doesn't tell us a lot, or I'm not trained to learn a lot from that, but I can watch to see that the delta wave activity is happening. And it's always fun to see that increase.
The relaxation that you were talking about earlier, I am noticing that just kind of gradually taking over.
And by the end of the session, you may feel a little bit sleepy, you might feel more clear-headed, you might feel like you just had a nap.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes my clients yawn at the end. So I know that, usually think that that means we've been effective. So I just want to offer that if you're interested in this, there is a website called Iasis Microcurrent Neurofeedback. You can go to that website and click on it, and there's tons of information by the provider of this equipment and training. There are videos, and there's research, and you can find out loads of information there. You can also call Trinity and talk to one of our trained therapists. There are 3 of us that are certified in Iasis microcurrent neurofeedback.
And could you spell Iasis?
Yes, thank you. IASIS. It's IASIS, Iasis. Liking what you see and what you're hearing, please consider donating so that we can provide this service to people who may not otherwise be able to afford it.
In my previous experiences, some of the effects were only noticeable within hours or maybe even a day after I received my treatment.
And you mean the effects?
Right. Were not necessarily immediate. They came
After, yes, yes. It's very important to have appropriate expectations of what this may do and how long it may take. So you'll need to talk to one of the therapists here about that. It does take a few sessions. We can't guarantee how many sessions for how many people, but in my personal experience, I've seen a lot of improvement within 14 to 16 sessions. Thanks for learning about Iasis MCN.
Thank you, Rebekah.